So welcome everybody. I'm so excited about today's session. I'm Eleanor. I lead marketing and community at Thangs and very excited to be here today with Danya and Jeff, one of our engineers, and Britt. Today, we're going to highlight a few new updates from Thangs, and then Danya is going to walk you through boosting your content. With that, I will turn it over to Danya.
Before we dive into actual boosting content talk, we want to let you know what's new on Thangs. Of course, we do announce this in the designer newsletter every other week, but just in case you haven't kept up with those, we've got a few new things just in the last 2 months. There's been quite a lot. We've got a new NFSW filter workflow that lets you appeal a post or an image if you feel that it is suitable, but we rejected it for an incorrect reason. And there's also some update to print on demand. So we have a new material, which is high detail grade plastic and faster print setup and lower prices, which means that you get to keep more of what you make, as well as the customer being able to pay a bit less. There are also Insight sales notifications now. There's email version coming soon as well. There are also designer income statements that are accessible through your profile. So you can create a statement for any past month. And last but not least, which is going to be the topic of today's update from Jeff, upgrade and downgrade for memberships. So I will let Jeff take over.
Yeah, all right. Hello, everyone. Looking at a view that's probably familiar to you all. This is how you look at your list of your membership plans. This has been live in the site for a couple weeks now to be able to see where your plan upgrades to and to be able to go ahead and change your upgrade path, right? Right now, we are limiting upgrades to only download-based plans, so you won't actually see this section in that. We also have some limits around how the plans need to be configured. You can only kind of have a linear flow, and the plans that are upgrades have to cost more. So you can see here, we show a little bit of data about your plans in this list. And on the last one here, because I'm on a plan that costs more than $15, we can't select the $15. So that's just kind of a quick review for that. If you haven't seen it before, that's what that's about. The basics of setting up your plan are just select an upgrade plan, and then the thing that is brand new, I think as of yesterday we turned it on, is to be able to go ahead and upgrade a membership as a user. So here I've come over to a user who has subscribed to that test plan that is a single download. I am in my Thangs area where I see the list of available models in that plan. If I come in here to this guy and say I want to download, in this particular case, I have already reached my limit on my single download plan, which was 1. And so I had done a download previously. So I will now see when I try to go and download my second model, I'll be able to see, hey, you're out of downloads, but maybe you can upgrade now. It'll tell you how much that costs and what your regular monthly payment will be. If the user has paid with Stripe, as I did in this case, they can just click the button. It'll go ahead and upgrade them. Now I go ahead, and you probably can't see the prompt, or maybe you can because I'm sharing my whole desktop, but I get to download the file. I now have my my double trouble subscription, and I can go ahead and see that I still have 1 download remaining here. I can just download it. We also gave you the option to go ahead and see upgrades that are available there at any time. That's kind of the first path into the upgrade downgrade area for your members. Another place that they'll be able to see it is wherever we kind of list their membership information. So here in the memberships area or on their order history, we'll see that there's now a change plan button. You'll also see in this case that this plan was upgraded from a different one, and we have the old plan here that was canceled. If a user is here and they want to go ahead and make a change, they can click the change plan button, and they'll see a dialogue like this with your plans on it, their current one, what they can do, and they'll just be able to take an action here, just like with the other button, the other upgrade that I did. If I've used Stripe, I just click this and it's done. If I've used PayPal or one of the other payment methods, you have to log in, right, to PayPal or whatever. That's a generally painless process, but it is something that has to happen. So that button will take you to that process. So that's the main kind of upgrade bits. The other point that we added some calls to action for you or for your subscribers are, if they come in here and they say, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, we will be showing if there's a downgrade available. Right. So if I was only on the single download plan already, there's no downgrade below that. So we can't show anything. But here I'll be showing the single download plan that I can say, oh, it's $10 a month less. Maybe I'll just go ahead and downgrade that. And what happens is it's actually upgrades are instantaneous, right? Because you want to get the new thing right away. Downgrades, we don't make instantaneous because we prorate the upgrade, right? And if you were to continuously cycle that, you could get extra downloads for less money. So the downgrade says, you're on your current plan, you've already paid for your current plan until the end of your plan period, right? This is a brand new account that I created today, so it's a month out at this point. It says, if I was 2 weeks into my plan, it would be 2 weeks out is what this would be. And so it says I'm going to be downgrading to this other plan at this time. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the deal there. The basics, I don't know if anyone has questions about that. This was a fun little project for me to take on. It was more complicated than I thought it was, but it's been good. We've been able to do some things like some of the complications were, doing the single click upgrade and downgrade with Stripe and making sure that we're not making the users have to click 15 times to do things, right? So we kind of worked through some of those challenges and figuring out how to best present all of this to the user. And I hope that, it helps keep your customers subscribed to your plans in some fashion, and also allows them to jump to something newer when they have hit their download caps. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And thanks for giving us a little behind the scenes insight.
Hope this is a great success for everyone to be kind of getting their users moved up in the subscription chain and all of that. I hope this helps them, pick that up as they go along.
All right. Yes, thank you again, Jeff. Now we're going to actually go into boosting your content. So first of all, hi everyone. I'm Danya, social media manager here at Thangs, and we're going to talk about something that can really accelerate your growth if it's used properly as a designer, and that's boosting your content. And so we'll cover how to do it on the two main platforms, which is going to be Instagram and TikTok. And the session is mostly about two things: how boosting actually works and how to make sure you're not wasting your money on it. Because paid promotion really only amplifies your strong content, what's already doing well. But if you have weak content, then it can't fix that. You won't get good results. So if we do this right, it can be a great growth tool and not just an expense. Why boost at all? Because organic reach is limited. Even if you have great content, platforms don't automatically show it to everyone. But boosting helps you reach new audiences outside of your following and grow faster in general and drive traffic to your shop or your profile or website link. We'll go over exactly which one to choose as well. And it gives your best content just more visibility, many more eyes on it. And that's exactly what we want. And so you can think of boosting sort of as your gasoline. If your content is solid, it's going to ignite. It's going to become a fire. And if your content is a little weak, you might just be burning money. And so the foundation is very important, and that comes first. So before you spend, just make sure that you pause and ask yourself, is this actually good content? Good in terms of what the platform expects from us. So if you are a viewer with little 3D printing knowledge, would you be intrigued? Would you be interested? Or would you be confused? Because if someone sees something gets confused, usually the next step is they're going to scroll away. But so basically, before you start the boosting process, just make sure that you follow this brief checklist. And we also did do a session on how to create good content. And so we can, Eleanor, if possible, we can share those slides as well afterwards if you're curious, because it does go hand in hand. Before you get started, just make sure that your content has good lighting, clean background, clear focus on the design or designs, a strong hook in the first 2 or 3 seconds, which is maybe the most important part, and a clear explanation of what this object is, why it matters, and just something that signifies that it's 3D printed. And so people are also aware that they need to print it in order to have it. And last but not least, a visible call to action, something clear that they can click on to get to that model. If someone sees your post for the first time as an ad, it just needs to instantly make sense. That's the goal. How do you choose these posts? Basically, never choose a random post or something that you saw underperformed, but you'd like to give it a push, because that's not how this boosting works. And so look at your analytics, find posts, videos, or still images, doesn't really matter, that are already performing better than your average. And so you're looking for higher engagement, stronger watch time, and this is all in your analytics, of course, in the apps, more saves and shares than usual, more comments, maybe that are asking about, where can I get this file? And just general questions from viewers, like interest. And so if people are already responding organically to that content, then that's a sign that it works. The goal is going to be to amplify the successful reels and posts and not taking a gamble on the weaker content with paid money, because unfortunately it doesn't work quite well. We're gonna also, this design truly looks like chocolate. It's a Mancala board, and I love Mancala, but I just get hungry every time. It's beautiful. The M&Ms are real, but the case is 3D printed. It's so cool. We're just gonna go over Instagram's boosting step by step. And honestly, it's quite simple. So you're gonna open the post that you're choosing to boost, tap boost post. You're going to choose the objective of the boost. So it's either profile visits, website visits, or messages that you'd like to get out of it. Then you're going to choose an audience. So when you choose automatic works well, or suggested audience, but create your own gives you a little bit more control. Of course, with more control comes more responsibility. So you got to make sure that you're really picking categories that are sets groups in the audience that will likely respond to your post, and making sure that it's broad enough, but not too broad. There's quite a lot that goes into it, and especially with art, it's so subjective. And so what I often do is just leave it on suggested audience, which allows it to target people that are similar to your own followers. And so does a pretty good job. Also, when it comes to setting the budget and duration, make sure you start small, because in this stage, we're really just testing. So a good starting point could be something like $5 to $15 per day for about 3 days to a week. That's completely up to you. And if you want more control later, Meta Ads Manager is pretty helpful. It can give you a deeper targeting, but just boosting posts is a great way to start. And so that's really it for Instagram. Now for TikTok, it's pretty similar, but what you're going to do is open the video. You're going to tap the 3 dots on the right bottom corner of the screen and hit promote. Just like Instagram, you're going to choose the goal that you're going for, which in TikTok is either more views, website visits, or profile visits. You're going to choose the goal, and afterwards you will set the audience, and it has a similar feature, which is to either default or auto or create your own. And you can do the same thing, $5 to $15 or $10 per day for about 3 days to a week, and just watch the metrics, and of course add a clear call to action, which that can be your exact, like your general Thangs link, or it could be linked to the actual design, just depending on what the content is in the first place, or your website. If, like Paul, you have one that links to your Thangs, however you'd like to do it, really. And so after you've posted, just give it some time and make sure you're watching the metrics very closely. What you can do is also just screenshot the results, the analytics of the post pre-boosting, and then do another screenshot after you boost, after you see some changes, just so that you can see exactly what's going on and if it's a post worth boosting. And so for TikTok especially, it's good to watch the completion rate, because TikTok is very watch time driven. As you probably know, it's where a lot of people tend to watch very long videos like stories and such. So if people aren't watching at least 50% of the video, that probably means your hook needs some work, which is just the first 2-3 seconds needs a little bit of change. Regarding budget, the strategy is basically just you're testing, then you're learning from that, and then you scale. So you're starting small, no more than $15 per day, and then testing more than one post, maybe 2 to 3 if possible, just to make sure you're getting a clear image of what's going on. And when you see one performing slightly better, you can lower the cost. Sorry, when you see one performing slightly better, meaning there's lower cost per result and higher engagement, then you can scale that one. For instance, by putting in about 20 to 50 per day if it seems genuinely worth it. And so just make sure to let the analytics guide you. As for the analytics, here's what to look for. We're not looking at just the views. We're also keeping an eye on reach, as in how many unique users saw the post, and engagement rate. Are people actually interacting? Click-through rate. Are they actually clicking on the link? And cost per result. How much are you paying per click or visit? Did the $5 or $15 get the job done, or do you maybe need to put in more, or does it seem, hopeless for that specific post? And lastly, watch time, especially on TikTok. So if people drop off in the first 2 seconds, like I said, it probably just means that the hook needs some work. And if they stay till the end, that's probably a very good sign. And it's always good to compare the cost per result to your goal, because if a profile visit costs about 20 cents and you're converting those visitors, that's excellent. That's exactly what we're looking for. And now for optimizing. So let's say you boosted and the post is just not performing well. That's completely okay, and that's definitely going to happen. It's very expected because that's just social media and it's unpredictable. But the next step is going to be to make some adjustments. And so what you can do is either change up the audience if you created your own, or if you did auto, switch to create your own and choose who it shows to. And you can also strengthen the first 3 seconds if you feel that it was a little bit weak, maybe changing the thumbnail itself or shortening the video. Oftentimes it's just a little bit too long and people's attention spans are different now. There's also making the CTA clear, the call to action, whether the apps let you choose what wording to use, whether it's learn more or shop now or whatever it may be. And so you can mess around with that as well. And most importantly, pause the underperformers quickly. If you see that it's not doing well, that's okay, but make sure that you pause it, because if it's not working, you're going to just try something new, try another post. Basically, to wrap up, like I said, boosting is about being intentional with the content that you already create. As a designer, you guys are building incredible things already. And so this is really just about making sure that more people get to see them and making sure that you start small, you keep an eye on the numbers, and only scale what's truly working. All right, then. If anyone does think of any questions after, let us know. That can be on DMs through Instagram, TikTok, or Discord, of course, as usual, any of those spots. But also, we would love to know what else you would like to learn. For the next session, at least, we're going to be covering getting started with print on demand, and that's going to be with Tice, our print on demand leader. Pretty much he knows just about everything there is to know when it comes to the print store.
Not for me. Thank you, Danya, and thank you all, and thank you, Paul, for your questions. I know I too learned a lot, so I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining, as always, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one.